Imagine this. You wake up one morning, the sunlight streaming through your curtains, the world outside buzzing with life. You check your phone emails, notifications, reminders all demanding your attention. You go through the motions. Work, meals, conversations, scrolling. But as the day unfolds, a quiet unease creeps in. It's not sadness, not anger, but something deeper, something harder to name. A hollow feeling, as if you're running on a treadmill that goes nowhere. You look around and see others doing the same, chasing promotions, likes, relationships, yet somehow never arriving. You wonder, is this all there is? Here's the paradox. We live in the most advanced era in human history. We have technology that connects us instantly, comforts that kings of old could only dream of, and freedoms unimaginable to past generations. Yet, beneath the surface, something feels profoundly wrong. Why is it that the more we achieve, the emptier we feel? Why does modern life, with all its conveniences and distractions, leave us yearning for something we can't quite define? What if the very things we've been told will make us happy success? Wealth, status are illusions, distractions from a deeper truth. What if the pursuit of meaning has been replaced by the pursuit of more, and in the process, we've lost touch with what it means to truly live? This isn't just a personal crisis. It's a cultural one. We're surrounded by abundance, yet we're starving for purpose. We're more connected than ever, yet we've never felt more alone. We're told to follow our dreams, yet we're trapped in systems that demand conformity. The question isn't just why modern life feels meaningless. It's how we've allowed ourselves to become so disconnected from what truly matters. But what if this emptiness isn't a flaw in the system? What if it's a signal, a call to awaken from the trance of modern existence? What if the very thing we're running from, the discomfort, the uncertainty, the void, holds the key to finding meaning again? This is where the journey begins. Not with answers, but with questions. Not with comfort, but with courage. Because the first step to solving any problem is to confront it head on. And the problem isn't just out there, it's within us. Now, let's dig deeper. Let's uncover the hidden forces that have led us here and explore how we might break free. The emptiness you feel isn't random, it's the inevitable result of a world that has traded depth for distraction, meaning for convenience, and authenticity for approval. To understand why modern life feels so hollow, we must look beyond the surface and examine the psychological and philosophical forces that have shaped our reality. At the heart of this crisis is a fundamental shift in how we define ourselves. In the past, identity was often tied to community, tradition, and shared beliefs. You are part of something larger, a family, a tribe, a faith. But in the modern world, identity has become a solitary project. We're told to find ourselves, to be unique, to follow our passions. Yet, without a shared narrative or deeper purpose, this pursuit of individuality often leads to isolation and confusion. Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Friedrich Nietzsche saw this coming long before the age of smartphones and social media. Sartre warned that freedom, while liberating, also brings the burden of choice. Without external guidance, we're forced to create our own meaning, a task that can feel overwhelming in a world of endless options. Nietzsche, on the other hand, foresaw the rise of nihilism, the belief that life has no inherent meaning. In a world where old values have crumbled, he argued, we're left adrift, searching for something to believe in. Psychologically, this existential vacuum is compounded by what Carl Jung called the shadow, the parts of ourselves we repress or deny. In a society that values positivity, productivity, and perfection, we're encouraged to hide our doubts, fears, and vulnerabilities. But the more we suppress these aspects of ourselves, the more disconnected we become from our true nature. The result? a life that feels shallow, fragmented, and devoid of depth. Meanwhile, modern capitalism thrives on our dissatisfaction. Advertising tells us we're incomplete without the latest gadget, diet, or lifestyle. Social media amplifies our insecurities, turning life into a performance where we're constantly comparing ourselves to others. The algorithms that govern our digital lives are designed to keep us hooked, feeding us endless distractions, but little nourishment. And then there's the pace. Modern life moves at breakneck speed, leaving little room for reflection or connection. We're always rushing to meet deadlines, to keep up with trends, to stay ahead of the curve. But in our haste, we lose sight of what truly matters. As the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer observed, life swings like a pendulum between pain and boredom without moments of stillness. We're trapped in a cycle of striving and dissatisfaction. These forces, individualism, nihilism, repression, consumerism, and speed, have created a perfect storm. They've disconnected us from ourselves, from each other, and from the deeper currents of life. But here's the twist. This emptiness isn't just a problem to be solved. It's also an invitation, a call to wake up, to question, to rediscover what it means to be human. The question now is, how do we respond to this call? What happens when we stop running from the void and start confronting it? The unseen consequences. The emptiness of modern life isn't just a vague feeling, it's a silent force that shapes every aspect of our existence. It influences how we think, how we feel, and how we relate to the world around us. But because it operates beneath the surface, we often fail to recognize its power. Let's pull back the curtain and examine the unseen consequences of this pervasive void. First, consider how it affects our relationships. In a world that prioritizes individualism, connection has become transactional. We swipe right for love, curate our friendships for social capital, and measure our worth by the number of followers we have. But these shallow connections leave us craving something deeper, something real. The paradox is that we're more connected than ever, yet we've never felt more alone. Studies show that loneliness is on the rise, even as we spend more time interacting online. Why? Because true connection requires vulnerability, presence, and time, all of which are in short supply in our fast-paced, image-obsessed culture. Next, look at how it distorts our sense of self. Without a shared narrative or deeper purpose, we're left to construct our identities from the fragments of consumer culture. We define ourselves by our jobs, our possessions, our achievements. But these external markers of success are fleeting. When the promotion fades, the car gets old, or the likes stop coming, we're left with the same nagging question: who am I really? This identity crisis isn't just personal, it's cultural. We've become a society of performers, constantly editing our lives to fit the script of what's expected. Then there's the toll on our mental health. The pressure to be happy, successful, and productive at all times is relentless. But this pressure doesn't lead to fulfillment. It leads to burnout, anxiety, and depression. We're told to think positive, to manifest our dreams, to hustle harder. But these mantras ignore the deeper truth, that life is messy, complex, and often painful. By denying our struggles, we only deepen our suffering. Even our perception of time is warped. In a world that values speed and efficiency, we've lost the art of slowing down. We multitask, we rush, we cram our schedules to the brim. But in doing so, we rob ourselves of the moments that make life meaningful, the quiet mornings, the deep conversations, the spontaneous adventures. As the philosopher Aldous Huxley warned in Brave New World, a society obsessed with distraction and comfort risks losing its humanity. And perhaps most insidiously, this emptiness fuels a cycle of consumption and escapism. When life feels hollow, we turn to quick fixes, shopping, binge watching, scrolling, drinking. These distractions provide temporary relief, but they don't address the underlying void. In fact, they often make it worse. The more we numb ourselves, the harder it becomes to face the truth that we're searching for something we can't buy, can't download, can't consume. But here's the thing. This emptiness isn't just a trap. It's also a mirror. It reflects the parts of ourselves we've neglected, the values we've abandoned, the truths we've ignored. And if we're willing to look into that mirror, really look, we might just find the key to breaking free. The question is, are we brave enough to face what we see? The rebellion. How to break free. Breaking free from the emptiness of modern life isn't about adding more goals, more habits, more distractions. It's about stripping away the layers of noise and rediscovering what lies beneath. It's about rebellion not against society, but against the patterns of thought and behavior that keep us trapped. This rebellion begins with a radical shift in perspective, one that challenges everything we've been taught about success, happiness, and meaning. The first step is to confront the void. Instead of running from the discomfort, lean into it. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? What am I trying to avoid? This isn't easy. It requires courage to sit with your doubts, your fears, your unanswered questions. But as Carl Jung famously said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. By facing the void, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the author of your own story. Next, redefine success. The modern definition of success, wealth, status, achievement is a trap. It keeps us chasing external validation while ignoring our inner needs. But what if success wasn't about what you have or what you do, but about who you are? What if it was about living authentically, cultivating deep relationships, and contributing to something larger than yourself? This shift in perspective isn't just liberating, it's transformative. It allows you to pursue goals that align with your values rather than societal expectations. Another key to breaking free is to slow down. In a world that glorifies busyness, stillness is an act of rebellion. Take time to reflect, to connect, to simply be. This doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities. It means prioritizing what truly matters. As the philosopher Friedrich Kierkegaard observed, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. By slowing down, you create space for clarity, creativity, and connection. Equally important is to embrace your shadow, the parts of yourself you've been taught to hide. Your fears, your flaws, your vulnerabilities are not weaknesses. They're gateways to deeper self-understanding and growth. When you stop pretending to be perfect, you give others permission to do the same. This authenticity fosters genuine connection, the kind that fills the void rather than masking it. Finally, seek meaning in the mundane. Modern life often feels meaningless because we've been conditioned to look for meaning in grand achievements or dramatic moments. But true meaning is found in the small, everyday acts of living: a heartfelt conversation, a walk in nature, a moment of gratitude. As Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, everything can be taken from a man but one thing: the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. By finding meaning in the present, you break free from the endless cycle of striving and arrive at a deeper sense of fulfillment. This rebellion isn't a one-time event, it's a lifelong practice. It requires constant vigilance, a willingness to question, and the courage to live differently. But the rewards are profound. By breaking free from the emptiness of modern life, you reclaim your humanity. You rediscover what it means to truly live. And now, as we approach the final revelation, ask yourself, what would it take to live a life that feels truly meaningful? The ultimate truth, the final, most powerful realization. Here, it is the ultimate truth, the realization that changes everything. Meaning is not something you find. It's something you create. It's not a destination, but a way of being. It's not out there, waiting to be discovered. It's within you, waiting to be awakened. This truth is both liberating and daunting. Liberating, because it means you're not at the mercy of external circumstances. You don't need the perfect job, the perfect relationship, or the perfect life to feel fulfilled. You can create meaning right now, in this moment, by how you choose to live. But it's also daunting, because it places the responsibility squarely on your shoulders. No one can do this for you, not your parents, not your partner, not society. It's your life, and it's up to you to make it meaningful. So, how do you create meaning? It starts with presence. Most of us live in the past or the future, regretting what we've done or worrying about what's to come. But meaning exists only in the present. When you fully inhabit the here and now, you begin to see the beauty and significance in even the smallest moments. A cup of coffee becomes a ritual. A conversation becomes a connection. A walk becomes an adventure. Presence transforms the mundane into the extraordinary. Next, embrace imperfection. Modern life often feels meaningless because we're chasing an impossible ideal, the perfect body, the perfect career, the perfect life. But perfection is an illusion. It's in our flaws, our struggles, our failures that we find our humanity. As the Japanese concept of wabi-sabi teaches, there is beauty in imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. When you stop striving for perfection and start embracing life as it is, you open yourself to a deeper, more authentic sense of meaning. Then, cultivate connection. Meaning is not a solitary pursuit. It's woven into the fabric of our relationships. When you connect deeply with others, you transcend your individual self and become part of something larger. This doesn't mean you need a vast social network. Even one genuine connection can be a source of profound meaning. As the poet Rumi wrote, "You are not a drop in the ocean." Finally, contribute. One of the most powerful ways to create meaning is to give of yourself to help others, to make a difference, to leave the world a little better than you found it. This doesn't require grand gestures. Even small acts of kindness, generosity, or creativity can ripple out in ways you may never see. As Viktor Frankl observed, the more one forgets himself by giving himself to a cause to serve or another person to love, the more human he is, and the more he actualizes himself. The ultimate truth is this: meaning is not a puzzle to be solved, but a life to be lived. It's not something you stumble upon, but something you build, moment by moment, through your choices, your actions, and your relationships. It's not about escaping the void, but about filling it with what truly matters. So, as you stand at the edge of this realization, ask yourself, what kind of life do you want to create? What kind of meaning do you want to embody? The answers won't come easily, but they're worth seeking. Because in the end, a meaningful life isn't about having all the answers, it's about living the questions. And perhaps in living those questions, you'll find that the emptiness you once feared was never an enemy, but a guide leading you back to yourself, to others, and to the profound beauty of being alive.